The Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro provide a refined design, but that's not the only improvement over last year's efforts. Cameras get a huge upgrade this year, highlighted by the Pixel 7 Pro's telephoto zoom capabilities. There are several new software tricks too. Battery life could still be a concern though. The Google Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro may look a lot like last year's models both in form and function, but looks can be deceiving. Go beneath the surface and you will find some significant changes that should take these phones to a new life. The most important of these changes is the new Tensor G2 chipset powering both devices. This Google-designed silicon builds on the company's vision for what a smartphone experience should be like. Not only is the latest Tensor more powerful, but it upgrades the AI and machine learning capabilities. Shortly after the Pixel 7's introduction, I got a chance to go hands-on with both phones. While I haven't had time to fully form my thoughts on the phones yet, I am impressed by a lot of what I saw with the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro. Google kept the same prices for the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro this year, starting at $599 and $899 respectively. To put those prices in context, you'd have to pay $799 to get either an iPhone 14 or Galaxy S22, so you can save $200 with a Pixel 7, and the Pixel 7 Pro offers a similar value relative to the competition, with the iPhone 14 Pro starting at $1,000 and the Galaxy S22 Ultra $300 more expensive than Google's top device. That's a lot to pay for a S Pen. Both Google phones start with 128GB of storage, with the Pixel 7 topping out at 256GB. The smaller phone comes with 8GB of RAM. The Pixel 7 Pro goes up to 256GB and 512GB of storage. All versions come with 12GB of RAM. You can pre-order both the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro right now with general availability on October 13th. Visually, the most significant change here is the redesigned camera bar. Google has swapped out the long strip of glass for camera cutouts hidden behind a metal panel. We'll have to test it out, but it should reduce the lens flare issues found on the Google Pixel 6. The switch to aluminum matte on the Pixel 7 polished on the Pixel 7 Pro allows it to bend directly into the frame rather than using a seam to transition to glass from metal. It's a sharp design reminiscent of some of the most recent Galaxy S devices. It's not only the difference though. If you ignore the lack of a telephoto lens on the smaller model, it's a little more difficult to tell each phone apart from the back, as Google has given the Pixel 7 similarly sized forehead spacing above the camera bar. The two-tone design is also gone, with the aluminum frame substituting as an accent color for the back glass. These are all subtle changes, really only noticeable if you are comparing the two generations to each other, but they go a long way. Internally, the biggest change here is the move to Tensor G2, and while it will undoubtedly yield some level of performance gains over last year's phones, that's not what Google's interested in here. The company is doubling down on its AI effort, and although many of these features debuted with the first-gen chipset, they are better and faster than ever. It's clear Google sees its AI abilities as Tensor's superpower. While these phones should handle everything you can throw at them, tools like Photo Unblur, a Pixel 7 exclusive, are the real highlights. After a year of rumors that the Pixel 6 Pro would either launch with Face Unlock or receive it in an OTA update, it's finally here on both Pixel 7 Pro and its smaller sibling. It's just relying on the front-facing camera, which might be disappointing news for Pixel 4 owners looking to upgrade. I ran into some difficulty setting it up too. No matter how many times I looked up, it couldn't get a good look at me. Thankfully, it let me through installation anyway. Using the Pixel 7 Pro, Face Unlock was unsurprisingly fast, much faster in fact than using the fingerprint sensor. Unfortunately, it's likely much less secure. Not only does Google's settings page for Face Unlock deliver a bunch of warnings, including that someone who looks like you, including a sibling, can get past it. but it also doesn't seem to work for app authentication. I downloaded Bitwarden on one of the units, but the app would only unlock with my fingerprint, not my face. Speaking of the fingerprint sensor, I also had a chance to try it out on the both phones, and at least anecdotally it felt faster. I held the Pixel 6 and Pixel 7 next to each other to unlock, and the newer hardware got me to the home screen fast. It's still not as fast as some ultrasonic sensors or the rear mounted scanners of your, but from what I can tell, it's definitely an improvement. Both the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro Sport improved cameras over the previous generation, though most of the improvements come from software features. Super resolution zoom is better than ever, with 8x zoom on the standard Pixel 7 and up to 30x on the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Both phones also support a 2x optical zoom equivalent by cropping the main 50 megapixel sensor, just like last year. The front-facing camera is also improved this year, featuring a larger sensor for improved nighttime selfies. Google also says that telephoto and ultra-wide lenses on the Pro have been upgraded from the Pixel 6, delivering better photos from both far away and up close with macro photography. We'll have to wait and see what these cameras are truly capable of, but in my very limited testing, Google's new tools seem promising. I have got some seriously shaky hands, which should render the 30x Super Res zoom on the Pro basically useless to me. I am putting it lightly when I say Google's AI trickery to reduce camera shake when zoomed in blew me away. It's unlike anything I have ever seen on a phone. Final impressions on how 30x photos actually turn out will have to wait, but if you are trying to frame a shot, this makes a huge difference. I also gave some of Google's new video tools a shot, including active stabilization and cinematic mode. Like with Super Res zoom, the Pixel 7 Pro did a great job reducing camera shake while I was filming, and shifting between focus in cinematic mode was quick and easy. I'll have to get out in the wild to really test all of the Google's camera tools, including that improved night sight and of course photo blur. I am also super curious to see how the actual quality of captured video holds up, as Google promises it's better than ever on this year's phones with 4K 60 fps across all cameras. As impressive as that stabilization was, that doesn't necessarily translate to industry-leading quality. After only using the phones for an hour or so, two of my biggest questions surrounding the Pixel 7 series remain unanswered. I am curious how well the batteries in these phones will hold up. Google only says all-day battery life, which feels disappointingly unspecific. I am also curious whether the Pixel 6's modem issue are improved with Tensor G2. It's been a thorn in the side of many owners over the last year, and any improvements here would be greatly welcomed. Thankfully, we will have full in-depth reviews of both phones coming soon. In the meantime, if you are already convinced and don't feel the need to wait for further impressions, you can pre-order the Google Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro now, and it will be available in stores on Thursday, October 13th. Just like last year, the Pixel 7 starts at just $599 while the Pixel 7 Pro will run you $899. Google would love to sell you on either of these devices, ideally with its newly announced Google Pixel Watch as well.